This page is the vibrant cover of the Sega Saturn Fan Magazine from May 1997, featuring anime characters likely from the featured game Kakyusei, Lower Classmates. The cover promotes a big feature on Kakyusei, including bonus items like a personal guidebook and a large poster, perfect for enjoying the Golden Week holiday. There's also a major focus on Super Robot Wars Phi, highlighted as a big upcoming title. Other notable games previewed or featured include Sonic Jam, Panzer Dragoon Saga, and Martian successor Nadesico. The issue also promises coverage of titles like Langrisser IV, Macross, The Kindaichi Case Files, Virus, Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, Fullbreaker, and Momotaru Duchuki, showcasing a packed lineup for Saturn owners. This page features a striking design with the Sega Saturn Collection logo repeated across the background. The main focus is on the SATA Core Sega Saturn Collection budget lineup, boldly announced as the counterattack of masterpieces. This collection brings popular Saturn titles back at an appealing price point of just 2,800 yen. The page highlights several key examples across different genres. You'll see the definitive fighting game Virtua Fighter 2, the intense arcade shooter layer section, the strategic RPG masterpiece Dragon Force, plus titles like DX Jinsei Game and Paku Paku Animal, showcasing the variety available. The text emphasizes that these are carefully selected games, making this budget collection a great way to experience some of the system's best. It's clearly positioned as a cool and accessible way for gamers to pick up classic Saturn titles. This page showcases Super Robot Wars F, a highly anticipated simulation RPG making its debut on the Sega Saturn. The artwork features a packed lineup of iconic mechs, including fan favorites like Evangelion Unit 01, Wing Gundam, Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, and Dan Cougar, promising the largest Super Robot Wars in history. The game was slated for release on July 25, 1997, priced at 6,800 yen. A major incentive for fans was the pre-order campaign offering a special Super Robot F box, which included collectible figures of key mechs appearing in the game, such as Combattler V and V Gundam, making it a must-have for series enthusiasts. This page features the colorful cover art for Magical Drop, announcing it as a special new issue and a puzzle game revolution. The artwork is packed with the game's charming cast of characters, including Justice and World, alongside the game's iconic colored bubbles and gestures. It highlights the game's planned June 20th, 1997 release date and price of 5,800 yen. The right side is the contents page, leading with a major feature on Super Robot Wars F, a highly anticipated title we saw coverage of on the previous page. It also includes an urgent report on Real Sound, Kaze no Regret. The Sega Dynamic Preview section delves into several significant upcoming titles, like Panzer Dragoon Saga, Last Bronx, Sonic Jam, Mr. Bones, and 3 Dirty Dwarves based on research from sample rooms. The magazine also covers a variety of other games in its special report, strategy, and new release sections, touching upon titles like Samurai Showdown, RPG, Bulk Slash, and Langrisser IV. Readers are also treated to bonuses related to the Class President student feature, including a guide and poster, along with regular sections like News Dynamite, Ranking Street, and the Game Research Lab. The issue is dated May 16, 1997, Volume 9. This page is a full spread dedicated to the highly anticipated simulation RPG Super Robot Wars F, heralded as the strongest in the series and exclusive to Saturn users. The page is packed with vibrant character art featuring a massive roster of iconic mechs like Getter Robo, Mazinger Z, Evangelion Unit 01, and various Gundam units, alongside original characters. The large title logo dominates the right side, highlighted by lightning effects, and a super deformed SD Gundam unit is prominently displayed. The text emphasizes the immense anticipation and popularity the game has garnered since its announcement, noting that the hype is through the roof. It aims for the highest level of quality in every aspect. Development is progressing towards completion, promising a user-friendly system even for beginners, numerous battle animations that will appeal to fans, and knowledge accumulated from previous entries. The page features multiple screenshots, showcasing the improved battle effects and new systems. We see battle scenes with units like Evangelion Unit 01 facing off against an angel, an original character unit performing a special attack, and other mech showdowns in various environments. The screenshots highlight the dynamic camera angles and detailed sprite work during combat sequences. An original character, presumably the protagonist, is also introduced. This game promises a wealth of content, pushing the Saturn's capabilities to deliver the ultimate Super Robot Wars experience. This page dives deeper into the gameplay mechanics of Super Robot Wars Frame, focusing on the unique systems implemented for the iconic series feature. It highlights two major additions: the special systems for Evangelion and Ideon. For the Evangelion units, including Unit 00, Unit 01, and Unit 02, the page details the umbilical cable system. Just like in the show, they require a cable connection to a power source to function effectively, which limits their movement range but ensures energy recovery. The screenshots show Evangelion Unit 01 battling angels like Sakiel, illustrating this mechanic and the intensity of these encounters. The mighty Ideon is also featured prominently, showcasing its super deformed design and its special Ideon gauge. This gauge represents the will of Ideon, and is crucial for unleashing the Ideon's devastating power, specifically impacting powerful attacks like map weapons and the legendary Ideon sword. The gauge's rise is tied to gameplay events, and the section includes screenshots of the Ideon in action and its pilot, Cosmo Yuki. The page also briefly mentions other systems, noting the power of the Evangelions at field against most attacks, and hinting at special abilities for other units, like those from Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. Overall, the magazine is building anticipation by detailing how these unique series characteristics are translated into the game's mechanics. This page introduces the player's starting options in Super Robot Wars Fi. Building on the previous discussion of game mechanics, it highlights the ability to choose one of 8 original protagonists, divided equally between 4 male and 4 female characters. These characters are presented in pairs, each representing a distinct personality archetype like serious and kind hot-blooded, or cool and nihilistic. Crucially, the page details the 2 exclusive original robot units available to the player character: the sleek, high-mobility real robot Huckabine, developed by the Earth Federation, and the powerful, transforming super robot Grungust, designed with international cooperation. The player's choice of character archetype can influence which robot type they are more suited to pilot. The magazine also notes a significant feature for this version of the game. These original characters are fully voiced, adding depth based on the personality selected. This setup provides players with significant personalization options right from the start of their journey through the Super Robot Wars universe. This page dives deep into the exciting combat sequences of Super Robot Wars FEF, showcasing the rich visual and audio presentation. The article highlights the significant evolution in battle animations, stating that everything from weapon effects like beam rifles and Vulcan cannons to dynamic movements has been enhanced. The impactful voice acting for all characters during combat is also a key point, bringing the clashes of these iconic mechs and pilots to life in ways not seen before in the series. Screenshots feature battles with fan favorites such as Wing Gundam, Getter Robo 1, Aura Battler Dunbine, Mazinger Z, and others like the Bilbine and Sazabi. The text specifically praises the detail in attacks like Mazinger Z's Koshiryoku Beam and Getter 1's Getter Beam, as well as the dynamic swordplay of the Aura Battlers. Sheer number of voiced lines and the impactful delivery during special attacks are emphasized as major improvements that make the combat truly shine. The next heavy metal section highlights the appearance of units from Heavy Metal LGAIM, focusing on the detailed beam coat effect. Overall, the page conveys that Super Robot Wars Fi delivers a highly satisfying and visually impressive combat experience, building upon the series' legacy. This page continues the deep dive into Super Robot Wars Fei, showcasing how dynamic Quten animations amplify the intensity of battles. It highlights special attack sequences for iconic units, like Shining Gundam, with its fiery shining finger, and Gunbuster unleashing the powerful Super Inazuma kick, noting how these moments are brought to life with graphics and full voice acting, including multiple character lines for the Gunbuster attack. Beyond the combat spectacle, the page opens up a reader's corner, directly soliciting feedback and opinions on Super Robot Wars from the fans, teasing future reveals about the game's characters and casting. There's also a fun quiz challenging players to guess the psycho commands for newcomers, like Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion and Duo Maxwell from Gundam Wing, offering prizes for correct answers. Finally, a memorial file section kicks off by profiling Gunbuster, celebrating its origin in the classic Aim for the Top anime and its inclusion in the game as a key original unit. The page wraps up with a general call for fan submissions, seeking everything from opinions to illustrations. It's clear Super Robot Wars F was generating massive excitement, and this page captures the hype around its enhanced presentation and content depth. This page presents an urgent report on the intriguing Sega Saturn title, Real Sound Kaze no Regret, delving into its unique appeal through interviews with the cast and director. Featured here are actors like Takashi Kashiwabara, Miho Kano, and Ryoko Shinohara, alongside director Kenji Ino. The core of the discussion revolves around the game's revolutionary concept. It's an adventure game experienced entirely through sound and voice acting, lacking any visuals. The cast shares their perspectives on the challenges and fascinating aspects of performing solely through audio, describing how they brought their characters to life without visual feedback. They touch upon the emotional depth and immersive quality this creates. Director Kenji Ino provides insights into the creative process behind designing a game that relies entirely on audio cues to build atmosphere and guide the player. The page also includes a report from a press conference held during the game's recording sessions, offering a peek behind the scenes of this groundbreaking productions. This feature highlights the anticipation and novelty surrounding Real Sound's departure from traditional video game design. This page continues the deep dive into the innovative Sega Saturn title, Real Sound Kaze no Regret. It features interviews with director Kenji Ino, actor Takashi Kashiwabara, and actress Ryoko Shinohara, offering fascinating insights into this soundingly adventure game. Kenji Ino discusses the game's design philosophy, emphasizing the goal of creating an immersive experience through audio alone. He talks about the extensive sound production, including recording the music and sound effects in London, and the unique challenges of directing voice actors in a purely auditory environment. Takashi Kashiwabara shares his experience reading the script for the first time, and the novelty of voice acting without visual cues. He reflects on the game's detailed sound design, and how it helps build the world and atmosphere. Ryoko Shinohara also speaks about the difficulties of performing solely through voice, and the need for strong chemistry with her co-stars. She discusses her character and the emotional depth required for the role in this unique storytelling format. The page highlights the recording sessions and the collaborative effort involved in bringing this experimental game to life, emphasizing the cast and crew's dedication to creating a compelling narrative through sound. This page gives us a dynamic preview of the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Martian Successor Nadesico. This isn't just a port, it's a love adventure game built around the popular anime series, promising a love battle begins over Akito theme within the Nadesico ship. As Akito Tenkawa, the player navigates conversations and relationships with the female cast, including fan favorites like Ruri, Yurika, Minato, and Megumi. The game features two modes: a story mode focused on character interactions and deepening bonds, and a battle mode, which appears to utilize impressive animation, likely incorporating movie scenes from the anime to depict combat against the Jovian lizards. Success in both modes is key to progressing and achieving romantic outcomes. The preview highlights the importance of communication and suggests a strategic element involving time limits for character interactions. With the game nearing release, it looks set to offer Nadesico fans plenty of story and action to experience. This page delves deeper into the gameplay and early narrative of the Sega Saturn's Martian successor, Nadesico. It breaks down the two core gameplay pillars: dynamic combat and varied date events. The battle system is explained as requiring fast and accurate input, with commands appearing on screen under a time limit. Combat seems turn-based, focusing on managing HP with options like defense and counterattack, and featuring flashy special moves like Wire's Fist and Geekigen Flare. Players can also assist allies in need. Relationship building is highlighted through date events, which unlock by increasing favorability with the girls. There are diverse situations shown, including scenes with Yurika as a soccer manager, Irina's first time bowling, and intimate moments communicating in the girls' rooms. Character interactions, like a flustered Ruri, are key to these events. The page also provides an early story digest. Chapter 1, Hello Again, sets the stage with the discovery of a Jovian lizard base on Mars, and the launch of the Nadesico, crewed by a motley mix of personnel. Chapter 2, Departure for Now, covers an attack, the Nadesico's successful launch from Earth towards Mars, and the arrival of new crew members, including the new Estivalis pilot, Akatsuki Nagare, and Vice Captain Irina Kingjo Wong. The visuals showcase key characters like Ruri, Yurika, Akito, Irina, and Akatsuki, giving a taste of the game's narrative progression and visual novel elements mixed with combat. This page features a dynamic preview and continuation report for the highly anticipated Panzer Dragoon Saga. It highlights information released at game shows, giving players a closer look at the game's unique mechanics and world. A major focus is the Berserk attack, a powerful special move that consumes Berserk points to unleash a barrage of lasers, effectively clearing the screen of multiple enemies. Screenshots demonstrate this devastating attack in action. The page also details the diverse enemies encountered, including mutated creatures born from a long-lost civilization, and formidable Imperial weapons, massive constructs fusing ancient and Imperial technology. The core protagonist, Edge, is shown battling these threats alongside his dragon companion. An exciting RPG mechanic discussed is the dragon's ability to transform based on the player's chosen development path, influenced by parameters like attack and mobility. This allows players to customize their dragon's form to suit their combat style. Character insights are offered, including a brief mention of interactions with Azazel and a character named Lagi. The page teases a complex quadrangle relationship involving Edge, Kramen, the Empire, and Azazel, hinting at the narrative depth. Finally, the standard shooting attack with homing lasers is showcased, a staple of the series. This page features a dynamic preview and developer interview for the 3D fighting game, Last Bronx. The top section showcases the game's title and key characters, highlighting it as a follow-up report from a recent game show event. The main content includes an interview with Mr. Abe, the development director at AM3. He discusses the feedback received from players at the show, the ongoing development process, addressing concerns about the visual quality and controls based on player reactions, and outlining the next steps towards completion. Screenshots throughout the page display various fight scenes, character models, a continue screen, and winner poses, showing off the game's graphical style and action. A dedicated section summarizes feedback from attendees who played the Last Bronx demo at the game show. It covers their impressions on gameplay feel, controls, character movement, and visual effects, giving an overview of player reception and areas the developers are focusing on based on this feedback. The article emphasizes the game's progress since the show version and the developers' commitment to refining the experience. This page dives into the system details of Sonic Jam for the Sega Saturn, a collection positioned as an introduction to the world of Sonic and groundwork for future Saturn titles. The article confirms that Sonic Jam includes the 4 classic Mega Drive Sonic games: Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. Beyond the faithful reproductions of these iconic platformers, the game features a new 3D hub world called Sonic World. This interactive space allows players to control a polygon Sonic and explore, offering access to a comprehensive database filled with information about the series. Screenshots showcase both the original 2D gameplay from the included Mega Drive titles and the new 3D Sonic World environment. The piece emphasizes the game's appeal to both longtime fans and newcomers, highlighting the blend of classic gameplay and new features like the database and 3D exploration. This page provides a detailed look at the Sonic World mode featured in Sonic Jam. It highlights the ability to freely control a polygon version of Sonic within a 3D environment, showcasing the game's dynamic camera that adjusts with Sonic's movements. The article points out interactive elements within this world, such as springs for boosting jumps, bridges to cross, and encountering other characters like Tails. A major focus is on the 5 distinct buildings scattered throughout Sonic World, each acting as a repository for Sonic series data. These buildings are identified as the Movie Theater, Character House, Art Gallery, Music Shop, and Hall of Fame. Players can enter these structures to access a wealth of information including game footage, promotional videos, character profiles, illustrations, background music, and historical details about the franchise. The page emphasizes that this database includes both publicly released and previously unseen content, making it a must-see for fans. The exploration isn't just about accessing data. Players can also collect rings scattered around the environment. Although their specific purpose within Sonic World is not fully explained here, it does show the time and ring counter from the 3D world. This page covers 2 different Sega Saturn titles, Sonic Jam and Mr. Bones. The top left focuses on Sonic Jam, highlighting that the collection includes Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Sonic and Knuckles, with new features added. Notably, the Spin Dash, originally not in Sonic 1, is included here, and Tails is confirmed to participate in Sonic 2. The Time Attack mode allows players to challenge previously cleared zones across all included titles. The special stages from each game are also present, emphasizing the goal of collecting the Chaos Emeralds. The page also details the digital manual feature, which conveniently includes both the Japanese and overseas Genesis versions of the manuals. The right side of the page introduces Mr. Bones, a funky action game starring a righteous skeleton protagonist. The core gameplay hook is Mr. Bones' unique ability to lose body parts when damaged, which affects gameplay, such as reducing jump height. The game features a variety of stages with different mechanics, including forced scrolling sections and musical mini-games like guitar and drum solos, promising a diverse and explosive experience across its 22 stages. This page previews the Sega Saturn action game, 3 Dirty Dwarves. It's a unique beat-em-up set in a gritty, American-style downtown New York, starring a trio of unlikely heroes, Greg, Taconic, and Cossack, who are saving kids from a military lab. The game is highlighted for its distinct characters, each using sports equipment as their weapon, and the ability to switch between them dynamically is crucial for success. A key mechanic is the dwarves getting temporarily knocked out when taking too much damage, requiring one of the others to revive them. The page also details special abilities like the Skull Power Meter for powerful attacks, a combination attack, and the Fight Attack, which involves all 3 dwarves unleashing a chaotic, temporarily invincible assault. The preview also takes us through the game's first 8 stages, showcasing diverse environments like the streets and hills of the Bronx, a gym, and even a stadium. It touches on the variety of strange enemies, from aggressive orcs to robots made of scrap, promising plenty of chaotic action. The overall tone suggests a fun, over-the-top brawler with a strong sense of character and style. This page introduces Blue Breaker, a popular romance-adventure RPG originally on PCFX that's making its way to the Sega Saturn. This isn't just your typical RPG about defeating a demon king to save the world. It uniquely blends that quest with finding your ideal marriage partner from a cast of lovely heroines. The game promises a mix of classic role-playing combat, as seen in the screenshots, alongside extensive dating simulation elements. The core of the experience revolves around the protagonist and 8 distinct female characters, who aren't just potential romantic interests, but also vital party members in battle. The page highlights these girls, showing off their character designs and mentioning their individual personalities. Your interactions and actions throughout the game will influence your relationships with them, leading to numerous events, animated scenes, and multiple unique endings depending on who you forge the strongest bond with. It's a refreshing take on the genre, pushing players to balance their world-saving duties with matters of the heart. This page jumps into the world of Album Club on the Sega Saturn, a unique simulation game where your goal is to build a photo album of beautiful high school girls from St. Paulia Girls Academy. It's not just about snapping pictures, though. You have to win a minigame called Achi Muit, HOI, against the girls to earn your shot. The game uses a novel approach, featuring live-action video of real models, as revealed by exclusive behind-the-scenes photos showing filming at a hot spring pool and beach locations. The page introduces several of the lovely young women featured in the game, providing their names, ages, and measurements, along with short descriptions. You get glimpses of different scenes you'll encounter, from school uniform shots to pool and beach swimsuit sessions. The game is described as a variety genre title, recommended for players aged 18 and up, offering a different kind of interactive experience centered around collecting photos of the charming cast. It seems like a lighthearted, photo-collecting challenge with a fun minigame mechanic. This page dives into Waxing's new arcade cult series, kicking it off with the legendary vertical shooter, Gun Frontier. Originally a cult hit in arcades, this port is finally making its way to home consoles, thrilling veteran players. The game boasts a unique aesthetic, blending intense shooting action with a distinctive Western frontier theme, including a player ship explicitly designed like a pistol, aptly named the Desperado. The graphics are praised for their detailed world design, inspired by the Wild West. A major highlight is the sheer scale and spectacle of the explosions, which are a constant barrage throughout the game, filling the screen with fiery destruction. Prepare for a challenging experience, as the difficulty is noted as ultra-hard, a trait cherished by hardcore fans of the genre. This is the game many have eagerly awaited. This page features the second installment in the Ixing arcade cult series, highlighting the classic Capcom title, Wonder 3. This is a fantastic collection that originally hit arcades in 1991, bringing 3 completely different experiences together in one package, and it's finally making its way to home consoles. The collection includes the action-adventure game Roosters, where players explore vibrant, fantastical worlds in search of treasure, featuring platforming, sliding, and some truly imaginative boss encounters. Next up is the vertical shooter Chariot, offering strategic aerial combat across 7 stages. It's not just about shooting. You'll need to master different weapon types and manage power-ups to survive. Finally, there's the action puzzle game Dawnpull, a unique blend of block-pushing puzzles and enemy dodging action across 30 challenging stages that demand both brains and reflexes. Wonder 3 offers incredible variety, allowing up to 2 players to jump into any of the 3 distinct games. It was a cult hit in the arcades for a reason, and now players can experience these gems at home. The graphics across all 3 titles are top-notch, showcasing Capcom's arcade prowess with detailed environments and memorable character designs, from charming heroes to bizarre bosses. This page continues the focus on interesting arcade ports and popular Japanese series hitting the Saturn. On the left, we have the 3rd entry in the Shing arcade cult series, Purula. This is a bizarre horizontal scrolling action game known for its truly unique enemies, stages, and overall strange worldview. You play as Zack or Mel, wielding magic wands and utilizing various spells to battle enemies in a world that blends animation with photographic elements, including some truly unsettling imagery like giant disembodied legs. It was an arcade oddity, and it's great to see it preserved on the Saturn. On the right side, we see Hudson bringing the popular board game series, Momotaro Dentetsu, to the Saturn, with a new entry titled Momotaro Dochuki. This installment takes the familiar property-buying, dice-rolling gameplay and sets it in the Edo period, sending players on a journey across a map of Japan. You'll encounter classic characters from the series as you race to become the wealthiest player. It's a fresh take on a beloved formula, perfect for fans of digital board games. This page dives further into Momotaro Dochuki, detailing how the game embraces its Edo period setting. Gameplay changes include replacing modern transportation with period-appropriate options like palanquins and horse carriages. Players will visit Edo-styled locations such as Dragon Palace and Demon Island, with mini-games also rethemed for the era, like palanquin races and rice harvesting. The game brings back a large cast of characters, including series regulars like Momotaro, Kintaro, and Urashima Taro, joined by others such as Ashura, Kaguya-hime, and the infamous Bomb King, with some characters even becoming playable. A significant upgrade is the use of CG and cell animation composites for the opening and event cutscenes, showcasing locations like Momotaro Castle. The game boasts a luxurious voice cast, featuring prominent actors like Terako voicing Bomb King. The terrifying Bomb King is highlighted as the ultimate antagonist, known for his devastating abilities, including the infamous 30 dice roll. And his theatrical real-life performer is featured. The page also shows off some unsettling CG renders of characters or forms likely related to the villain. This page features the Sega Saturn game, The Kindaichi Case Files. Tragedy on Hoshimi Island from Hudson. Based on the hit manga and anime series, this title puts a unique twist on the formula. The player isn't Kindaichi solving a mystery, but the culprit attempting a perfect crime. You play as Arima Takuya, seeking revenge after his fiancée's tragic death, and your goal is to execute a meticulously planned murder while outwitting the brilliant detective Hajime Kindaichi and his allies, who appear to obstruct your path. Gameplay involves choosing actions and pursuing keywords to advance the story and plan your crime. When it comes time to execute the plan, the game shifts into a real-time suspense mode, where you must carefully time your actions from a top-down perspective, avoiding detection by Kindaichi or the police. The story kicks off with a scandal involving an idol and the player's fiancée, leading to the revenge plot set on the remote Hoshimi Island resort. Familiar characters from the series like Miyuki Nanase, Inspector Akechi, and others appear as obstacles. The concept of playing as the antagonist against the iconic detective is a fascinating inversion of the source material. This page dives into the chilling world of the Unsolved, a hyper-science adventure title based on the original work by Akio Asuka. The striking imagery features a close-up of a non-human entity alongside the tagline, "Truth approaches from the darkness." The game explores notorious real-world mysteries like the Roswell incident and cattle mutilations, weaving them into a semi-documentary narrative centered around a recent murder case. As the player, you team up with partners Tom Hopkins and Patricia Stone to investigate these inexplicable events. The game promises a multi-ending story influenced by your decisions and how you interpret evidence and witness testimonies, pushing you to uncover how deep the conspiracy goes. The page includes screenshots hinting at the atmospheric locations you'll explore and poses provocative questions like, Is it a death project? Or is it an unknown massacre? The Unsolved was scheduled for simultaneous release on PlayStation and Sega Saturn on May 2nd. There's also mention of related manga and book publications, expanding on this intriguing universe of unexplained phenomena. This page is a full-page spread advertising Samurai Showdown RPG, known in Japan as Shinsetsu Samurai Spirits Bushido Retsuden. The left side features a dramatic black-and-white portrait of a live-action actor portraying a samurai, gripping a sword and looking intensely at the viewer, emphasizing the game's focus on the samurai theme. The right side declares, "The Heisei Samurai" appears in large vertical text, highlighting the game's modern setting compared to the original fighting series. Below the title logo, it announces the Birth of a Samurai RPG. The text describes the game as an adventure where players will step into the world of samurai spirits and become a true samurai themselves. Screenshots showcase the game's RPG mechanics, displaying turn-based combat, character dialogue scenes, and a world map view, confirming it is a departure from the series' fighting roots. The game was released across multiple platforms including the Neo Geo CD, Sega Saturn, and PlayStation, offering fans of the franchise a new way to experience the lore and characters of Samurai Showdown. This title represents Slank's venture into the RPG genre, using one of their most popular fighting game IPs. This page advertises the Sega Saturn game Kakusei, also known as Underclassmen. The page features a collection of character illustrations styled as scattered photographs, giving a glimpse into the game's scenes and cast. The prominent main character illustration on the right adds a touch of depth and mood. The large striking title, quote, Kakusei, dominates the bottom left. The tagline at the top, "I want to convey the throbbing of my heart to you," strongly suggests this is a romance simulation or visual novel, a genre popular on the platform. The game is announced as being now on sale and is a 3-disc CD-ROM set with a suggested retail price of 7,800 yen, excluding tax. Given the age restriction, 18 years or older rating, players can expect mature themes within this dating sim experience. The page confirms it's a Sega Saturn title from the developer Elf. This page features a split layout showcasing 2 distinct upcoming Sega Saturn titles. On the left side, the magazine highlights 04 Champ Doozy J Typer, a racing game focused on drag racing, also announcing the standard 04 Champ Doozy J for PlayStation. The artwork prominently features a detailed blue sports car, hinting at the game's focus on vehicle performance and evolution in the 04 racing scene. It was scheduled for release in May 1997, with a standard price of 6,800 yen. The right side is dedicated to Daisuke, an adventure-type love simulation game for the Sega Saturn. The page displays a collection of anime-style character illustrations, suggesting a cast of potential romantic interests. The premise involves the player entering a military academy and experiencing school life with these characters. Touted as a long-awaited new work, Daisuke promises a story where the player's choices shape the outcome. It was slated for a June 27, 1997 release, with a tentative price of 6,800 yen, and included details about a special edition featuring a bonus CD-ROM. This page presents 2 distinct titles for the Sega Saturn. On the left, Jaleco introduces Fantasy Step, described as a fantastic story of love and courage. Featuring character designs by Shirohiko Joe and music by Hiroshi Takahashi, the game is illustrated with a boy looking at an open book displaying various in-game scenes, suggesting a narrative-driven adventure. It's announced as a release for this month on both Sega Saturn and PlayStation, priced at 5,800 yen. The right side features Shen Ryu from Warashi Inc., promoting the return of passionate battles with real power and impact. This is highlighted as an authentic scrolling shoot-'em-up allowing for 2-player simultaneous play. The artwork showcases a large, imposing mecha and 2 distinct fighter jets, consistent with the genre. 3 small screenshots provide glimpses of the intense arcade action, confirming it is a complete port of the arcade version. Shen Ryu is scheduled for release on June 20th at a price of 5,800 yen. This page showcases 2 very different titles coming to the Sega Saturn. On the left, we see Sid Meier's Civilization, the iconic grand strategy game. The artwork brilliantly depicts the journey of civilization, from ancient structures and hieroglyphs to modern skyscrapers and space exploration, reflecting the game's epic scope. It's presented as the ultimate simulation game where players build human history. The Sega Saturn port was released on May 2nd. On the right is V. Harukaze Sentai V-Force, an anime-style strategy simulation game featuring beautiful girls. The colorful artwork shows several of the main female characters. The theme revolves around these girls potentially becoming the protectors of their planet. The page highlights various tie-ins, like a soundtrack album, a novel adaptation, and a CD drama, suggesting a strong focus on story and character. A special package version was planned for a June release. This page showcases two upcoming adventure games for the Sega Saturn. On the left is Nightruth, Explanation of the Paranormal, subtitled Only One Truth. This game delves into supernatural themes, featuring anime-style graphics and various screenshots depicting character interactions and scenes of a city under a strange sky. The text emphasizes a mysterious story and features a voice cast including Kana Akutsu, Katsuya Kuji, and others. It was slated for a summer 1997 release. On the right, we see Digital Angel Denu Tenshi SS, a beautiful girl adventure game set for release in late May 1997. The page highlights the game's cast of charming characters, including Forushinia, Claire Little, Eindebel, and Liam Lourda, prominently displayed in the artwork. Key features mentioned are its multi-story and ending system, adding significant depth and replayability. It also boasts an impressive lineup of voice actors, such as Joe Hisako, Yoko Sawami, Chizu Akane, and many more. The game was priced at 5,800 yen, with a soundtrack CD also available. This page prominently features Langrisser IV for the Sega Saturn, highlighting it as the newest entry in the series. The main artwork showcases the protagonist, Randius, a key character whose profile is detailed, mentioning he is the main character who survived a village destruction and was raised by the village chief. The page details the game's features, including a deeper strategic element using a new system, engaging 2D battle scenes, and the introduction of a judgment value that influences character actions. It also boasts a large voice cast, bringing the characters to life. Langrisser IV was scheduled for a July release. Special package editions and pre-order campaigns are advertised. A limited first-run special package includes a Langrisser IV special pin badge set and a special fanbook, priced at 6,800 yen, excluding tax, while the regular package is 5,800 yen. A reservation campaign offers a special pin badge for pre-ordering Langrisser IV or the Langrisser I and II PlayStation version special package. Other sections on the page include Saturn no Ukoku, Kingdom of Saturn, which serves as a guide to the magazine's content like news dynamite, rankings, game scores, and reader sections. There's also a Satacore quiz challenge, offering prizes related to Sega's budget re-release series, and a Sonic supporter recruitment drive encouraging fans to show their support for Sonic the Hedgehog, with prizes offered. This page is a reader response postcard for Saturn Fan Magazine issue number 9, designed for collecting reader feedback and managing prize applications. It serves multiple purposes, allowing readers to engage with the magazine content directly. The top section provides the mailing address for Tokuma Shuten Intermedia in Tokyo, directing replies to the Saturn Fan number 9 present application. The card includes fields for essential reader information, such as name, address, telephone number, age, and pen name. A significant portion is dedicated to reader input on magazine sections and prize preferences. Readers can specify their desired prizes from the issue's offerings using a numbered selection system, 1 through 18. There are also sections for feedback related to magazine features like the Saturn no Ukoku Ranking Street, the Cornhead Club, and a general other category for miscellaneous comments. Furthermore, a game scorecard section invites readers to provide feedback or rankings for specific Sega Saturn titles. Featured games include the intense vertical shooter Gekirindan, the simulation classic Theme Park, the visual novel Sote Battle Cosplayer, the adventure title Tokyo Shadow, and the racing game Tudge King the Spirits 2. This allows the magazine to gauge reader opinions on recent and prominent releases. The bottom section is formatted as a standard Japanese postcard, requiring a 50 yen stamp. This page dives into the latest happenings in the world of Sega and gaming culture, featuring a mix of news, previews, and reader engagement. The featured picks section highlights upcoming releases and media, including the soundtrack for Quo Vadis and Sakura Wars, a video CD for Street Fighter II Wine, New Generation, and a strategy game guidebook. Beyond just game releases, there are fascinating discussions. One section introduces an Aroma Club amusement center game, focused on sense and relaxation, while another covers the recording sessions for a Super Robot Wars title, showing the voice actors at work. We also see news about musician Heath from Japan, contributing a theme song to a horror adventure game called Phantasm. There's even a segment about an audition contest involving the popular Purikura photo booths. For fans of the visual novel Kagusei, Underclassmate, a section announces new merchandise. Finally, the page features the Dynamite Present section, which is directly tied to the reader postcard from the previous page. Here, they list prizes available for application, including a Stake Winner 2 apron, a theme park phone card, and an autographed board by voice actress Yuko Miyamura. The page also announces winners from previous giveaways. It's a vibrant mix of game news, related media, and community interaction. This page delves deep into the Sega Saturn scene, presenting rankings based on reader feedback and actual sales data. You'll find a popularity ranking showing which games are currently capturing fans' attention, with titles like Super Robot Wars, F and Grandia ranking high, followed by a detailed list of the top 30. There's also a transplant wish ranking, highlighting games readers desperately want ported to the Saturn, with highly desired titles like Final Fantasy V2 and Dragon Quest V2 topping the list, alongside less likely requests such as Mario Kart 64, showcasing the passionate but sometimes unrealistic hopes of the fanbase. The page also tracks the market with a Saturn sales ranking, noting the strong debut of games like Quo Vadis 2. A small feature highlights the successful launch of First Window. To cap it off, there's a segment where a game store manager from Doki Doki Adventure Island Heiwadai shares their thoughts on the current market and player preferences. It's a comprehensive look at what players are playing, what they want, and what's actually selling. This page dives into the Ranking Street feature, presenting the game report card based on reader rankings and reviews. It features a detailed table listing the top games by reader score, their makers, release dates, and price, along with individual scoring criteria. Topping the charts is Advanced World War, Last of the Millennium, a strategy simulation game that receives extensive reader feedback, split between positive and negative comments, followed by a word from the developer. Coming in at second place is Yushun Classic Road, a horse racing simulation. This game also gets reader reviews highlighting both its strengths and weaknesses, alongside a developer response. The third spot goes to the Convenience Store, a simulation title, where players manage a convenience store. Like the others, reader opinions are shared, covering favorable aspects and criticisms, rounded off with comments from the game's maker. The page provides a snapshot of player satisfaction and developer perspectives on these popular titles. This page continues the reader game rankings from Ranking Street, featuring titles ranked from 4th down to 10th based on community feedback. Each entry provides a breakdown of reader sentiment, both positive and negative comments, and insights directly from the game developers. Taking the 4th spot is J-League Jikyu Victory Goal 97, a soccer simulation that garnered mixed opinions on its realism and controls. Following at 5th is Penelia Story, an RPG praised for its unique panel-based map creation, but receiving criticism for repetitive elements. The arcade racer Manx TT Superbike comes in at 6th, lauded for its graphics and feel, though some noted a lack of track variety. Stambi Seiyu, an adventure game, ranks 7th, with feedback focusing on its voice acting and simulation aspects. Worms is at 8th, seen as a fun mix of strategy and action. The fighting game Advanced vs. G is 9th, appreciated as a solid entry in the genre despite minor criticisms. Rounding out the top 10 is Jissen Pachislot, Hishuhao 4, a realistic Pachislot simulator. The page also recruits readers for future game reviews and lists upcoming titles to be reviewed, such as Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, and Shin Theme Park. This page from the Game Research Institute dives deep into strategy for Quo Vadis 2. It acts as a comprehensive guide for players looking to master the game, focusing on effective character training, recommended pilots based on ability, and tips for building powerful units, especially assault armor. The analysis covers how pilot abilities like control, detect, shoot, and melee grow, explaining the conditions needed for improvement and the impact of different growth types. It also details how to compose assault armor units, emphasizing the strength of ranged attacks and the importance of support units. Furthermore, the guide breaks down the mission evaluation system, explaining how points are awarded based on victory, clear time, and enemy destruction, ultimately determining the mission rank. A to E. While there's a large table listing numerous pilots and their starting stats, growth types, and MP values, the core takeaway is understanding the different pilot specializations and how their stats influence performance on the battlefield. This is essential reading for anyone aiming for high ranks and efficient unit management in Quo Vadis 2. The next page transitions from combat strategy to park management, featuring a comprehensive guide to the classic simulation game, Theme Park. It promises a complete attack and analyze and thorough research into the game's fundamentals. The bulk of the page provides essential advice under the heading, Heart to Remember Before Running a Theme Park. It emphasizes starting development of attractions and shops early to maximize income, strategically placing shops near attraction exits to capitalize on customer flow, and the importance of regularly checking customer reactions to gauge satisfaction and address complaints quickly. It also highlights the absolute necessity of installing basic facilities like benches, trash cans, and restrooms from the start, explaining that neglecting these leads to customer dissatisfaction. There's a small info box detailing Theme Park's release information, noting it's a simulation game for one player. While the page focuses heavily on the management principles, it also includes screenshots showing different views of the park, customer feedback indicators, and financial summaries, illustrating the points being made. Separately, on the left side, there's a large table listing weapons from the Quo Vadis 2 guide on the previous page, detailing stats like range, shots per minute, damage, weight, effect, and usage, providing further tactical data for that game. This page dives into the specifics of conquering the challenging Japan scenario in Theme Park. It outlines the steps needed to meet the goal of attracting over 2,000 visitors within 7 years, noting that skilled players can achieve this in 3 years. The guide starts with managing the park's finances, advising on setting admission fees, initially high but lowered as more guests arrive, while keeping attraction prices fair. It then moves to the strategic placement of attractions and shops, emphasizing that the limited space in Japan requires careful planning, especially for roller coaster layouts. Building shops along pathways and near ride exits is crucial for maximizing sales. Effective staff management, including adjusting wages and placement, is also highlighted. Choosing the right advertising campaigns is discussed, warning against risky, large expenditures, and recommending specific, popular product endorsements. The page stresses the immediate need to install essential facilities like benches and restrooms, which significantly impacts guest satisfaction. It also covers the development of new, popular rides like coasters, and the strategy of rebuilding older attractions or shops in limited space to improve performance and guest capacity. Understanding the guest experience is vital, suggesting players ride the attractions themselves and observe feedback. Finally, it touches on achieving the visitor goal and moving on to the next scenario. A section on park events details various options, from horror movies to parades and fireworks, listing their target audiences and ideal timing to boost park popularity. This article analyzes key maps from Advanced World War, Last of the Millennium, revealing 55 of the 64 maps. Focusing on Map 10, Battle for the British Mainland, the guide stresses rapid initial deployment from a disadvantageous Portsmouth position to encircle London by Turn 1, utilizing Turn 2 reinforcements. Map 55, Smolensk Offensive, highlights the need for swift attacks against disorganized Soviet forces in the early game to avoid later reinforcements. A flowchart displays the branching campaign paths, demonstrating how completing specific maps unlocks different scenarios. The article includes map interpretation notes, explaining symbols for key locations like strongholds, cities, and airfields. This page continues the deep dive into the scenarios of Advanced World War, Last of the Millennium. It presents 4 distinct maps, each with its own strategic challenges and objectives. The first scenario covered is the Second Battle of Moscow, Map 44. Set in the snowy conditions of late 1942, the guide emphasizes leveraging armored units and experienced generals like Guderian and Richthofen to navigate the winter terrain against Soviet forces. Next is the British mainland landing operation, Map 61, depicting an amphibious assault on Britain in mid-1943. This scenario highlights the crucial role of naval power, featuring battleships, and the need to secure air superiority. Players can utilize generals like Kesselring and commanders specializing in naval and air operations. Reinforcements, including units and generals, arrive later in the campaign. The bottom half details the collapse of the Soviet Union, Map 45, a late 1942 push towards the Kremlin. Speed is paramount in this scenario, as the goal is to quickly overwhelm Soviet defenses before their reinforcements arrive. The guide suggests using generals like Hepner and Cluj for this final offensive. Finally, the Empire of the Setting Sun, Map 62, returns to Britain in mid-1943, focusing on eliminating remaining Allied air resistance. Similar to the earlier British scenario, securing airfields and dealing with enemy aircraft using commanders like Kesselring is key. Each map section provides a brief strategic overview, details about the starting conditions, available commanders, and the timing of reinforcements,
giving players essential insights for tackling these challenging battles.
This page wraps up the coverage of Shinseki Evangelion's Second Impression, dedicating the left side to revealing unlockable content and valuable tips for players. It highlights that achieving higher completion rates is the key to unlocking a wealth of bonuses, confirming there are still hidden secrets to uncover. The tips section covers useful features like how to skip movies after viewing them once, variations in the Unison minigame where players can unlock different partners like Rei Ayanami or even Megumi Hayashibara herself,
and the ability to unlock a full karaoke mode.
Various screenshots showcase these bonuses, including character sketches, gameplay screens, and examples of the minigames, demonstrating the depth of hidden content available for dedicated players. On the right side, the page shifts focus to Kakusei, Underclassmate, featuring a striking illustration of one of the heroines. The headline promises a look into spending a year with the game's 13 heroines, suggesting this section acts as a personal guide to the game's characters and relationship aspects. The next page provides a deep dive into the relationship simulation game, Kakusei, Underclassmate. Building on the introduction from the previous page, it starts with a table of contents for the section, outlining coverage of the basic system, how to get along with girls, dating, approaching them, introductions to the heroines, and seasonal events. The page explains that Kakusei centers on a high school senior's quest to find a girlfriend during his final year. The core gameplay involves meeting and building relationships with the game's 13 potential heroines. The basic system requires effective use of limited time and money to deepen these connections. The game takes place over a single year, starting from the protagonist's third year until graduation, which, while seemingly long, passes quickly due to the demands of school life and exploring the town to meet girls. Every action, including moving between locations, costs in-game time.
Money is also crucial, needed for presents and dates, and lacking funds can impact even intimate encounters. Screenshots throughout the page show the game's time/date interface, character sprites during conversations, and pixel art town maps, illustrating the time and location management aspects of the gameplay. The page features attractive illustrations of the game's heroines, highlighting the game's focus on its cast. This page delves into the crucial aspect of building relationships with the heroines in Kakusei, Underclassmate. Following up on the basic system introduced previously, it starts by explaining that a girl's feelings towards the protagonist vary and can range from dislike to seeing him as a good friend. To pursue a romantic relationship, deepening the friendship is essential. The section Getting Along covers the basics, meeting the girls and talking to them. Even if initially disliked, conversation helps. Giving presents and making phone calls are also highlighted as effective ways to improve affection. There's a note about asking for phone numbers being difficult, especially for one character. Checking affection introduces the fortune teller as a method to gauge how the girls feel about you, offering insights into relationship compatibility. This is presented as a way to understand their hidden feelings. The page then transitions to dating in Approaching for a Date and Setting the Date Details. Initially, girls might refuse dates, but once affection increases, they will agree. Once a date is secured, the player must choose the location and time, considering the girl's preferences, as different locations can trigger special events. Expressions change illustrates how the girl's facial expressions reflect their affection level, serving as a visual indicator of their feelings. Finally, events are important. Touches upon special occurrences, like helping a girl in trouble, which can provide a significant boost to affection. Several character portraits and screenshots are shown throughout, demonstrating interactions, date invitations, and expression changes.
This page continues our deep dive into building relationships in Kakusei, focusing specifically on the dating experience. It's stressed that punctuality is paramount. Being late is a major turnoff and can seriously harm your chances. Crucially, The success and events you encounter on a date are heavily influenced by both the chosen time and location. The guide then tours various potential date spots within the game. You can take a girl to the Yokoshima Nanpa amusement park for a classic date, or perhaps the Southern Country Africa Park Zoo is more her style for a fun day out. The serene Manbu Tour Aquarium offers a different mood, while the Kondome Stadium is perfect for cheering on a team together. In the summer, the Uzuki City Public Pool is an option where you can see the girls in their swimsuits. For a more sophisticated vibe, there's the Hazuki Moon Plaza, or you can keep it casual at the bowling alley Happy Strike. Though be warned, your character isn't exactly a pro bowler. Picking the right place is key to making a good impression. This page continues our look at building relationships in Kakusei, diving into what happens after a successful date, and how to progress to more intimate moments. It discusses returning the girl home and the potential opportunities for physical affection like hugging or kissing, emphasizing that success depends heavily on the affection level built up during the date. The page warns that attempting such actions prematurely, when affection is low, will result in a negative reaction, clearly stating, "It's no good." As affection grows, and words are no longer necessary, the game allows for more intimate events. The page showcases various events CGS depicting these later stages, from passionate kissing and touching to more revealing scenes, including Mahoko in lingerie and after a shower. It notes that some of these detailed CGS are quite large and will scroll on the screen. The overall theme is moving beyond standard dates to a deeper, physical connection within the game's narrative progression. This page delves further into the world of Kakusei, showcasing various heroines and aspects of school life. The left side features intimate event CGS with different characters, titled Other Girls Too. Following the theme of progressing relationships from the previous page, these images depict moments beyond basic dates, illustrating the deeper connections the protagonist can form, such as Ryoko overcoming her shyness, or affectionate scenes with Miyuki and Miko, highlighting their reactions and the increasing intimacy. A central section introduces the game's heroines, stating there are 13 distinct girls to pursue, ranging from a fish shop sign girl to cute underclassmen, promising diverse encounters. Below this, the Life at Gitsumen Gakuen section describes the school setting, listing key characters like the homeroom teacher Shizuka Sensei, classmates Ryoko, Miyuki, Mana, Tina, and Makoto, and notes the abundance of attractive girls. It highlights school events and opportunities to meet girls in various locations, suggesting an exciting school life. A screenshot shows a group of students. The right side focuses on the character profile for Mizuho Yuki, providing her name and description. She is presented as a beautiful, academically excellent, and athletic girl, with a cheerful and approachable personality, though slightly unapproachable due to being too perfect, forming a close friend relationship initially. Various illustrations of Mizuho are shown, including her main character art, wearing a kimono at a festival, and sitting in a cafe, illustrating her diverse charm and the potential events players can experience with her. This page continues to explore the world and heroines of Kakusei. We get detailed profiles for 4 more distinct characters, showing the variety of potential romantic interests available in the game. Miko Kamiyama is introduced as a gentle, slightly airheaded shrine maiden, highlighted by images of her both in her traditional attire and relaxing. Then there's Reiko Shindo, a haughty rich girl with few friends. Her profile includes striking artwork featuring her in a kimono at a festival and a more suggestive image. Ryoko Kano, mentioned previously, is shown as a dedicated art student seemingly uninterested in romance, with images depicting her artistic pursuits and a relaxed moment. Finally, Mayumi Tachibana is presented as a free spirit with a casual attitude towards dating multiple people, illustrated with dynamic character art showing her personality and reactions. These profiles give players a clear look at the diverse personalities and potential routes available in Kakusei. The next page continues the character profiles for the dating simulation game, Kakusei. 4 more heroines are introduced in detail. We meet Ei Minamizato, described as someone who fears men but falls for the protagonist, and she's good friends with Miyuki. Miyuki Ijima is presented as a spirited former track and field athlete who is protective of AI and often clashes with the protagonist. Nana Minagawa is a lower-class student who loves shoujo manga and dreams of meeting her prince. Finally, Shizuka Mitsuki is introduced as a teacher at the school and a good confidant, with their relationship being teacher-student. Each character profile includes full-body illustrations and smaller scene images that highlight aspects of their personality and potential story moments. The next page continues the detailed character introductions for the dating simulation game, Kakyusei. We're introduced to Mahoko Mochida, a shy girl working part-time at a flower shop and a student at a nearby school, known for being an avid reader. Maki Midoritani is the spirited successor to her family's fish market after graduating, described as tomboyish but with a surprisingly jealous side in romance. Minatsu Yamashita attends music school and works part-time at a coffee shop on Sundays, possessing a cautious personality that makes her slow to trust others. Finally, we meet Tina, a princess from a southern country who transfers into the protagonist's class along with her twin brother. She's friendly and quickly gets close to the protagonist. Each profile includes a main illustration and smaller scenes depicting key moments or personality traits, like Mahoko crying at the movies, Maki getting into a fight, Minatsu wiping windows, or Tina eating a hot dog. The illustrations provide a glimpse into the characters' stories and the game's graphics. This page delves further into the world of Kakyusei, focusing on the variety of events and character appearances throughout the game. The left section highlights seasonal events, showcasing how the character's clothing changes with the seasons, from bright outfits in spring and summer to warmer clothes in autumn and winter. This adds visual flair and realism to the passage of time in the game. Moving right, the various others section reveals even more costume options beyond seasonal wear, including traditional yukata and haregi, different types of uniforms like school sailor suits and athletic wear, showing the diverse situations and settings characters can appear in. The main right-hand section focuses on spring events, detailing specific scenarios that can occur during the spring season. Illustrations depict romantic moments like playing tennis together, visiting a shrine, and casual interactions, suggesting specific routes and interactions players can experience. Text snippets describe these scenes and the feelings involved, hinting at the game's dating simulation elements. Finally, the page features a large illustration of the character Arisen, adding her to the lineup of key figures in the game's story. This page continues exploring the events and character looks in Kakyusei, focusing on the summer season. The top section highlights summer events, showing how characters appear in summer attire. There's an illustration of a character in a yukata, enjoying a traditional summer scene, and another at a pool, relaxing. The text touches on the changing atmosphere in summer and different activities. Below, there's a detailed swimsuit collection 97 summer sections. This features multiple characters from the game, each showcasing a different swimsuit design. The descriptions for each character's swimsuit comment on its style, such as a floral bikini, a frilly swimsuit, a sleek black design, and various one-piece and two-piece styles. It highlights the variety of looks available for the characters during summer events, adding to the game's visual appeal and character customization elements. This page delves into the later seasons of Kakyusei, showcasing the character interactions and events that unfold during autumn and winter. The autumn section highlights events like dates at the bowling alley, capturing the season's focus on deepening relationships. It features illustrations depicting character moments, such as comforting a crying friend or reflecting on a potential romance, emphasizing the emotional development during this time. The text notes how feelings intensify as the leaves change. Transitioning into winter, the final season, the page explores the memories made with the girls. Illustrations show more poignant scenes, including characters struggling with emotions, finding comfort in intimacy, and celebrating Christmas with gift exchanges. These moments underscore the range of experiences in the game, from lighthearted fun to deeper emotional connections, offering a final look at the characters as the year concludes. This page features a character profile and news about the game Kakyusei, which is also branded here as Live UP to Elf. The main section celebrates the arrival of an awaited X Day, likely referring to a release date, and notes that this marks the final character file feature, though the overall corner will continue. The page showcases the character Tina, described as a tropical girl who bathed in the sun, and provides her personal data, including physical stats and indices like Fluffy Index and Stubborn Index. There is an illustration of Tina in a bikini, and another showing a more intimate scene involving her. Additionally, there are smaller images related to Your Heart, which appears to be the console version of Kakyusei, showing character interactions like a kiss and holding hands, aligning with the relationship focus discussed in the previous pages. The text mentions Tina is a princess from a southern country, but has a very straightforward, innocent personality. The next issue is teased to contain a special project for Live UP to Elf. This page dives into the world of Sakuragumi Taisen columns, a columns game set in the Sakura Wars universe. The main focus is on unlocking and using 3 special sub-characters: Iki Yoneda, Ayame Fujieda, and the Imperial 3 Maidens, Iris, Kana, and Sumair. It explains that by making specific lips dialogue choices during their respective story modes, you can unlock these characters for use in other game modes. Brief stats for each unlockable character are presented, showing their attack and defense levels. The page also features the second part of a roundtable discussion with the Hana-Cola development team, including the director, planner, art director, and a designer, credited humorously. They discuss their favorite moments from the story mode, particularly interactions involving Yoneda and Ayame, and the challenges of developing the game. They touch on the difficulty of the columns gameplay, and the impact of the Sakura Wars lip system within this puzzle context, sharing their thoughts on making the game enjoyable for fans. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate dialogue choices and gameplay moments. This page announces the results of a fan poll to decide which heroines from the dating simulation game, Pure Male 2, will appear in an upcoming project titled Extra. The winners, determined by reader votes, are Ishinabe Tamaki taking first place with 257 votes, and Higashiyama Hinao in second with 211 votes, securing her spot by a dramatic single-vote difference. The page highlights Tamaki's earnest personality and Hinao's unique charm as reasons for their popularity. The page also provides an update on the development of Extra, stating that porting work is progressing smoothly with an aim for an autumn release. This section features a dynamic illustration of Swati from the Kyaarun series, suggesting she will also be part of this project. Illustrations of other characters like Aoyama Misao, Wakamiya Yuki, and Chisato are shown, hinting at their activities or ongoing projects, such as Chisato's manga drawing. Finally, a section dedicated to Swati, the Sawati Goddess Promotion Committee, features fan contributions and celebrates her popularity, welcoming illustrations and letters from readers. This page kicks off a new series focusing on game creators and their thoughts on BASIC for the Sega Saturn, known as SS BASIC, right before its release. The featured guest is Tokihiro Naito, head of E.O. Imagination, a veteran developer who got his start programming in high school with BASIC, creating early games like Kamikaze. He shares his journey through the industry, including work on the classic RPG series Hydlide, and the founding of his company. The article highlights SS BASIC as a tool for aspiring game developers, discussing its ease of use compared to other languages. A key example is Lightning Gunner, a vertically scrolling shooter shown with screenshots, which was developed entirely using SS BASIC to demonstrate its capabilities. While acknowledging that BASIC might be perceived as slow, Naito emphasizes that SS BASIC is surprisingly fast and capable of creating complex games, encouraging users to jump in and start making their own titles. The page also briefly introduces Yumi Kinoshita, who handled music for the SS BASIC sample programs, and notes a game creation contest planned to promote the software. Sky BASIC is presented as an accessible entry point into game development on the Saturn. This page features an advertisement for BASICs for Sega Saturn on the left, a game development tool allowing users to create their own high-speed polygon games. It highlights the ease of use and capability of the software, demonstrating it with screenshots showing a top-down game and 3D rendering. The product is set to release on June 27th with different pricing options depending on the connection type. The right side is part of the Conehead Club section, a fan or reader contribution area. It includes casual discussion about Golden Week and recent game releases, touching on the prevalence of ports and one reader's personal preference against them, though acknowledging their market necessity. There's also a new segment featuring a housewife who expresses interest in using SS BASIC to make her own games after hearing about its ease of use, directly linking to the product advertised. Other short pieces include comments on GameShop experiences and a poignant note about a young gamer's passing and the importance of save data. A small manga strip is also included. This page continues the Conehead Club, featuring various reader contributions. In the My Favorite Game section, readers discuss their top picks, with a focus on sports titles like Greatest 997 and Jikyu Powerful Pro Yakyu, highlighting their detailed gameplay and enjoyable experiences. Brief sections cover the results of the magazine's Illustration Hall of Fame contest and the Cover Prediction contest, showcasing winning entries and contributors. The We Are Supporters EVA Complimentary Committee section is dedicated to fans of Evangelion, featuring reader comments and illustrations of characters like Asuka, Rei, and Shinji, expressing their love for the series. Under Voices of Hope for Ports, readers list games they wish were ported to the Saturn, including diverse titles such as the puzzle game Magical Drop, classics like Star Wars, RPGs like Wild Arms, and dating simulations like Dosokai. The Lunar Magic Guild delves into reader experiences with Lunar, Eternal Blue Complete, discussing progression, specific skills like Healing Ring and Barrier Shell, and items like Altena's Sword. There's also an illustration referencing Lunar, Silver Star Story. Finally, the Imperial Theater Royal Guard focuses on the popular Sakura Wars series, with comments on Hanagumi Taisen columns and general appreciation for the characters, accompanied by illustrations of Sakura Shinguji, Maria Tachibana, and others from the Imperial Combat Review. This page continues the reader contributions in the Conehead Club section, filled with fan art, opinions, and questions. The illustration gallery showcases impressive fan art covering a range of titles, including Tactics, Ogre, Cyberbots, Docusei 2, Terra Fantastica, and Guardian Heroes, demonstrating the diverse tastes of the readers. The Kids' Hope section features opinions from younger fans, discussing their expectations for Saturn games, hopes for ports like Super Robot Wars, Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, and Lunar, and commenting on the competitive fighting game scene with titles like Virtua Fighter, Daytona USA, Virtua Cop, Sega Rally, Fighting Vipers, and Last Bronx. The Cone Kids Network board shares reader thoughts on various games mentioned in commercials or personal favorites, including Virtual On, Enemy Zero, Fighters, Megamix, and Langrissers, sometimes referencing titles seemingly outside the Saturn library like Crash Bandicoot and Parappa the Rapper in commentary. The Sega AM Freak section focuses specifically on Sega AM Division games, actively soliciting fan art for a Cecil, Panzer Dragoon RPG, and Last Bronx, and featuring illustrations for Nights into Dreams and a Cecil. The Sega Fan Mailbag, Q&A, addresses reader questions, touching on games like Doom and Langrisser, alongside queries about the magazine itself and job prospects in the game industry. A small section introduces new contributors to the magazine. Overall, the page is a vibrant collection of fan engagement, highlighting popular Saturn titles and expressing hopes and opinions about the gaming landscape at the time. This page presents a comprehensive database listing every Sega Saturn game released in Japan up to April 18, 1997, totaling an impressive 583 titles. It meticulously organizes the vast library by genre, including fighting action, simulation, action, adventure, role-playing, simulation RPG, 2D shooting, and 3D shooting. For each entry, the database provides essential details such as the game's publisher, release date, original price, and any compatible peripherals required or supported. This is an invaluable snapshot of the Saturn's diverse software catalog at this point in its life cycle, featuring everything from major hits like Virtua Fighter and Nights into Dreams to beloved titles such as Myst, Lunar, Silver Star Story, Darius Gaiden, and Panzer Dragoon Saga. It serves as a definitive guide for fans tracking the console's output. This page continues the comprehensive Sega Saturn database, presenting a detailed look at hundreds more titles released for the system in Japan. The listing is organized by genre, covering everything from racing games like Daytona USA and Sega Rally Championship, to table games, Mahjong, a wide array of sports titles including Virtua Striker and Decathlete, puzzle classics such as Tetris Plus and Puyo Puyo 2, as well as CG Collection, education/database software, and a final category for miscellaneous releases. For each entry, the database provides the game's Japanese title, publisher, original release date and price, and notes any compatible peripherals. This section really highlights the breadth of software available on the Saturn beyond the core action and RPG genres. This page presents a reader questionnaire and giveaway, offering fans a chance to win Sega Saturn games and telephone cards. By answering questions about themselves, their gaming habits, and their thoughts on the current issue's content, readers can enter to win prizes like copies of Azel, Panzer Dragoon Saga, Sonic Jam, Wonder 3, Harukaze Sentai V-Force, Evergrace, and Power Instinct, Groove on Fight, as well as Kakusei telephone cards. The questionnaire refers to lists of articles, other magazines, game consoles, and a massive list of Sega Saturn software titles provided on the page. The magazine gives clear instructions on how to complete the entry postcard correctly, making it easy for readers to participate in this excellent giveaway that gauges reader opinion while distributing some hot titles. This page starts by thanking all the applicants for the commemorative giveaway from the previous issue and announces the winners. presenting a list of individuals who have won various prizes like games and telephone cards. The main focus shifts to a detailed look at the story of Samurai Shodown RPG, Bushido Retsuden, specifically examining the narrative from the perspective of the villains who seek to bring chaos to the land. The feature explores the reasons why the two powerful antagonists, Shiro Tokisada Amakusa and Mizuki Rashojin, are attempting to plunge the world into ruin. It delves into Amakusa's 100-year quest for revenge and Mizuki's desire for absolute control as a dark god. The article includes character illustrations for both villains and shows screenshots from this role-playing adaptation of the popular fighting game series. The next page continues the deep dive into the story of Samurai Shodown RPG, Bushido Retsuden, specifically focusing on the antagonists introduced in the previous pages. The first major section details the chapter of the Evil Heaven's Descent, revolving around Amakusa's plot to transform Japan into a demon world. This involves attacking key sacred sites. Players encounter Princess Ushiwaka, an assassin targeting Edo Castle, Sankai Dushi near Mt. Fuji, attempting to disrupt the Earth's energy, and Sansei-kan-ku and Sansei-doku plotting in ice. Screenshots show locations like the Edo Underground and the Ice Shrine. The second major section covers the chapter of the Bewitching Flower's Riotous Cry, where various dark figures work to revive Mizuki. This includes Ago, Mizuki's servant, who creates the evil steel bells causing chaos worldwide. The influence spreads to Europe, where Count Saint-Germain appears in Paris. Meanwhile, in China, the beautiful demon consort Yu seeks to control the land. Illustrations showcase these diverse villains. Finally, a smaller segment highlights Juzo the Gale, a mysterious ally unique to Mizuki's chapter in the game. The page demonstrates the expansive nature of the game's plot, moving beyond Japan to show the global reach of the villains' schemes. This page delves into Hudson Soft's intriguing adventure game, Virus, showcasing its key characters and featuring insights from a creature design interview with Yasushi Sazawa. The game is presented as a unique hybrid experience, merging different genres and employing a blend of anime and CG visuals to create a detailed world. A major point of discussion is the streamlined gameplay system, described as an adventure with limited explicit choices, relying instead on single-button presses and intuitive icon selections for actions, while combat unfolds in real-time animations. Screenshots display the main protagonists, Serge and his partner Erica, alongside visuals of the game's network-themed environments and the mysterious Ozio computer system, hinting at the blend of technology and conspiracy at the heart of the story. The next page continues the deep dive into Hudson Soft's adventure title, Virus. We get a closer look at the main characters central to the story. Serge, a stand investigator, Erica, his partner, and their rival, Smiley, another stand investigator. The page also introduces Donna, a mysterious woman crucial to the plot, and Twainel, the president of the company running the network. Finally, we see Melody, a stand operator, and Ashu, a stand researcher who opposes Serge. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to an interview with Yasushi Sazawa, the creature designer for Virus. He discusses his approach to designing the game's unique monsters, drawing inspiration from cyberpunk aesthetics and blending organic and mechanical elements. Sasazawa mentions liking monstrous, grotesque designs, but also appreciating the contrast provided by delicate female characters in dark settings. He notes that designing creatures for CG animation presented technical challenges but ultimately resulted in dynamic visuals. He highlights the importance of character balance and notes that the characters' reactions are key to the game's atmosphere. The interview concludes with Sazawa emphasizing the importance of individuality in design and finding joy in the creative process. The page also features a small image of Sazawa's workshop, showcasing various creature models. This page dives into the Sega Saturn game adaptation of the Super Dimension Fortress Macross. Do you remember Love? It provides an analysis of the combat system, stages, and presentation, promising a faithful recreation of the iconic anime film. The core gameplay revolves around controlling the Valkyrie variable fighter, showcasing its three distinct forms: fighter for high-speed flight, Gerwalk for maneuverability, and Batroid for ground combat. The page highlights the ease of transforming between these modes and mentions the different weapon types available, including standard shots and limited juice bombs. A key feature is the lock-on missile system, essential for engaging enemies that appear from alternate dimensions. The powerful Super Valkyrie, equipped with booster tanks for improved space combat, is also featured. The stages are structured to follow the narrative of the original movie, transitioning between space battles near Saturn and combat inside the vast Macross battleship. The presentation is enhanced by the inclusion of movie footage and newly created CG and anime sequences used for the opening and transitions between stages, deepening the connection to the source material. Character communication also occurs during gameplay. The game is confirmed as a shooting genre title, released across 2 discs. Numerous beautiful movie scenes are showcased throughout the page, emphasizing the visual fidelity. This page jumps into the exciting Sega Saturn title, Bulk Slash. It covers the game's core mechanics, focusing on the transforming mecha combat in a 3D environment where you battle to stop a massive bombing plan. The game centers around understanding and utilizing your mecha's various functions, including navigation, radar, shield status, and speed control,
all vital for success across diverse battlefields.
A key feature is the ability to transform between 2 forms: the high-speed fighter mode, effective for movement and equipped with homing missiles, and the versatile robot mode, which boasts stronger attacks and a wider range of weapon options, though it is slower. Weapons can be powered up and changed based on pickups. The page also details the flow of the first stage, introducing your navigator partner, Leonie Rhodes, and outlining the objective: destroying power supply pods scattered throughout the city to disable a giant walking weapon before confronting it. Partner interactions and growth are mentioned as influencing the game's progression and ending. Overall, the report highlights the strategic depth offered by the mecha's transformation and varied functions in tackling the game's objectives. This page presents a report on the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Langrisser IV. It announces the arrival of the sample room and delves into details about Scenario 2's story and the game's new battle system. Featured are character illustrations of Serena and Gizarov, alongside numerous screenshots showcasing dialogue and tactical combat. The report covers the initial scenario, providing the first taste of battle and introducing key characters like Gizarov and Rachel. It highlights the action priority battle system, where units with higher judgment values act sooner. The page explains how players determine the actions of commanders and their hired mercenaries in combat. A significant portion focuses on Scenario 2, titled Wandering Warrior, detailing how new companions join the protagonist and the story progresses, emphasizing the unfolding narrative. It also mentions the concurrent storyline following the Katagenesis army. The branching scenario system is discussed, illustrated with a choice point, where players can decide between escaping the Imperial Army or aiding Rachel. Finally, it touches upon the arrival of General McClane as reinforcement,
aiding the protagonist and Ricky in battle.
This page dives deep into the fighting game DX Hired, detailing its unique battle systems and showcasing the signature techniques of 3 characters, Boy, Lucifer, and Karen. It highlights systems like the autonomous link, where you can chain together consecutive attacks, the White Bird catch, which seems to involve parrying high attacks, and the Super Guard, that deflects incoming blows. The article presents character portraits for Boy, Lucifer, and Karen, alongside multiple screenshots demonstrating their distinct special moves in action. It gives players a sneak peek at the varied fighting styles and tactical options available in the game, emphasizing how each character brings unique abilities to the fight, utilizing weapons and specific maneuvers. This page reports on the Time Bokan series Revival Doronbo Complete version, a game where players take control of the villainous Doronbo gang from the classic Time Bokan anime series. The focus is on utilizing the unique abilities of the villains and their mechs to finally defeat the heroes, particularly Yatterman. The game is a top-down shooter, as seen in the screenshots, where players pilot various evil mechs through different stages. The report highlights the first 2 stages, focusing on confrontations with Yatterman and later Yatter King. It also introduces some of the playable villain mechs like Gaikotsu, Time Rooter, and Sharekoba Buggy, showcasing their distinct designs and capabilities. The article emphasizes the satisfaction of playing as the antagonists and turning the tables on the heroes, using a variety of powerful mechs and special attacks. This page focuses on the simulation game Harukaze Sentai V-Force, highlighting the 4 young women who pilot powerful mechs to defend the solar system. The main characters introduced are Kurenai Kazuki, Kurenai Tsukasa, Kurenai Asami, and Orita Yuki, with portraits and their voice actors featured. The game is described as a square-based simulation, where players manage different unit types, including ground, flying, and battle units, engaging in tactical combat. A notable feature is the integration of copious anime sequences throughout the game, from openings to mid-stage events, adding visual flair. The report touches on game mechanics like unit repair and character growth through experience. Screenshots showcase the character designs, gameplay grid, unit models, and dynamic anime cutscenes, including one showing the characters in swimsuits, which the magazine notes is something to look forward to. The game's premise involves defending against an alien invasion by the Bastille Empire. This is a follow-up report, promising more details on the game's systems and the main character's adventures.
This page features a report on the game Marika: The True World, an RPG or simulation title centered around three girls who discover powerful psychic abilities. These latent powers pull them into a dangerous and extraordinary battle against unknown enemies. The main protagonists, Marika Kanzaki, Akira Kanemoto, and Kaname Todu, are introduced with portraits and details. The game utilizes a command selection battle system with dynamic full-screen visuals. A key feature highlighted is the extensive use of full voice acting to convey the character's emotions and enhance dramatic event scenes. Screenshots display the anime-style character designs, battle interface, and intense story moments. The game delves into the narrative of these girls adapting to their newfound powers and the perilous reality they face. This page features the simulation game Ebarouge, which covers a young boy's journey through school life, learning magic, and experiencing romance during his junior high and high school years. The game is split into two parts, with the first focusing on school activities and building skills, while the second part introduces dating and a deeper plot involving saving the world with magic. Players manage the protagonist's schedule, balancing studying, training, and leisure. Dating the various female characters is a core element, revealing their personalities and deepening relationships. The page introduces several of the girls the player can pursue, like Marine, Helen, Faller, and Muir, as well as male rivals Nelt and Stanbelt. Screenshots display character events, dating scenes, and the school environment, highlighting the anime art style and focus on character interaction. The goal is to master magic through school life and ultimately protect the world, with different endings based on the player's choices and relationships.
This page dives into the simulation game Free Talk Studio, where you step into the shoes of Mari, a new radio DJ. Your goal is to host a successful 4-week radio show by skillfully interacting with guests. The game emphasizes careful guest selection, as you choose 3 out of 4 potential guests over the first 3 weeks. The gameplay revolves around the live broadcast, where you make choices during conversations to keep the show engaging and on track, managing interactions with both the guest and the director. The 4th week features a special guest, popular idol Kawai Namimi, adding a significant highlight. The success of your show is evaluated based on listener feedback, like faxes and calls, and poor performance can lead to a game over. The page highlights the dynamic talk segments and the pressure of a live broadcast environment. There's also a mention of different packaging options and a present campaign offering promotional items. This page features 2 exciting new games. On the left is Stakes Winner 2, an action-packed horse racing game where you take on the role of a jockey aiming for one glory. The game builds on its predecessor with new rivalry events and a unique shear system. You can train your horse to improve its abilities, learn special command inputs for moves like the hyperdash, and strategically use items bought before the race or found on the track. 3 modes are available, including domestic and overseas arcade versions, and an original mode allowing you to train your own horse from scratch. On the right is Deca 4 Truck, an intense off-road racing game where you pilot giant trucks across treacherous terrain. The focus is on powerful crashes and navigating diverse, winding courses. The game features 6 distinct courses with varying environments like mountains, sand, and snow, and you can even set the weather and time of day for different challenges. Race modes include a championship where you battle rivals for victory, a time trial for perfecting your skills, and a single race on your favorite course. You can choose from 6 types of trucks and use nitro boosts strategically to overtake opponents.
This page showcases the latest entry in the Groove On Fight series, now featuring chaotic 4-player simultaneous battles. This new game introduces a tag battle system where you team up with a partner to fight, allowing for strategic partner switching during the battle and cooperative techniques like tag attacks and support attacks. New systems are added, including expanded guarding options and techniques like the stress accumulation system. The page features several characters participating in the head-to-head tournament, highlighting those with the blood of the Guketsuji clan. Characters introduced include the combat cyborg Solus R8000 known for her speed, the balanced fighter Larry Light, the sinister Chris Wayne, the sweet Kohana Papura, the imposing Ludolf Gatehammer, the mystical Atsuremi,
the staff-wielding Tenjinbashi Roku, the gambler Falco, the tricky ninja Yukinui Hyake, and the eccentric scientist Max equals AXXE equals DuxXMAD. Each character has a brief description of their fighting style and personality, accompanied by gameplay screenshots demonstrating their moves. The game appears to be a dynamic fighting game emphasizing character interaction and new tactical possibilities with the tag system.
This page previews 2 sports games. On the left is Breakpoint, a realistic tennis game created using motion capture for lifelike movements. It features varied international players, different camera perspectives, and a range of shots like slices, top spins, and lobs. The game offers multiple modes and court types, promising diverse gameplay experiences. On the right is Funky Head Boxers Plus, a boxing game featuring polygonal models of Yoshimoto comedians. This updated version boasts improvements over the original, including easier defense and tempo for more accessible gameplay. You choose from 4 distinct characters and aim to defeat rivals using a variety of boxing techniques, from basic jabs and uppercuts to powerful special moves and devastating super attacks to become the world champion.
This page features previews for 2 distinct adventure games. First up is The Unsolved, a hyper-science adventure title, where you play as a journalist investigating a bizarre murder case involving strange bodies. The game emphasizes player choice, with responses to questions affecting the branching narrative across 4 levels of nuance. You'll interact with various characters, some helpful, some suspicious, as you gather information and evidence to uncover the truth and identify the culprit. Screenshots show investigation scenes, character interactions, and the choice system. The second game is Dragons of China, a legendary 5,000-year journey to seal an evil dragon that has escaped its seal. This adventure/RPG is set in China, where you play as Ken, a young dragon researcher. You must travel the land, seek the power of 8 mythical dragons, and gather companions to help you. Gameplay involves exploring locations, collecting information from town elders, and engaging in combat encounters against monsters. You choose which character leads the fight, and victory depends on strategic choices. Screenshots show exploration, battles, and portraits of the various characters who join your quest.
This page features previews for 2 very different puzzle game experiences. First is Cube Battler, Story of Anna, the second entry in the digital battle animation series. This is a competitive puzzle game where you'll be battling by fitting cubes together. The main character is now Anna, and the game boasts rich animation and powerful new special moves for her. The graphics are detailed, with the main window split into 12 squares where you rotate and swap cubes to match colors and win. There's also a tactical element, involving linking cubes for powerful attacks and defending against opponents. Screenshots showcase the dynamic battle interface and character animations. Next up is D-Jig, which bundles 2 digital jigsaw puzzle games, Tin Toy and Aqua World. Tin Toy focuses on nostalgic vintage toys like robots and rockets, featuring 20 different CG images. Aqua World is all about marine life, with beautiful graphics of various fish species. These are straightforward digital jigsaw puzzles where you rotate and place pieces. Completing a puzzle unlocks a short, 40-second movie based on the completed image. The review highlights the relaxing nature of the puzzles and the charm of the unlockable movies. Screenshots display the puzzle interface, finished puzzles, and images from the unlocked movies. This page features previews for 2 distinct titles. First is Crime Wave, an intense, rule-free car chase battle game set in a futuristic city. Players take on the role of a bounty hunter, cruising the city to track down and eliminate target vehicles using armed cars. The objective is to take down the target to earn the bounty, but rival bounty hunters and general traffic will try to interfere. You can collect items dropped by destroyed vehicles to power up your own car and weapons. The game includes a frantic 2-player split-screen battle mode, where players compete to collect bounties first. Next is the backup page for Hop Step Idol, focusing on the 3rd volume of the Idol Encyclopedia. This ongoing feature introduces characters from the Boys Idol Simulation Project/game. Featured here are Makoto Inada and Heisuke Hamaguchi, 2 contrasting types of aspiring idols with brief profiles on their ages, heights, and personalities. The page mentions the game as a simulation where you produce male idols and aims for a fall release. It also highlights fan items like a poster and sticker set and mentions the decision on voice actors for the characters. This page features previews for 2 popular titles. First, there's significant coverage on Tokimeki Memorial 2, tentative name,
focusing heavily on the strong desire for a Sega Saturn port, as the game is currently planned only for PlayStation. An interview with a Konami representative discusses the feasibility of the port. The page also highlights a reader project where fans submitted ideas for the game, showing the enthusiasm and large volume of submissions received. Additionally, there's a segment covering a training camp for the cast and staff of the upcoming live-action Tokimeki Memorial movie, showing photos of activities like tennis and a barbecue. The second major section previews Virtua Striker 2, the highly anticipated sequel. It details the latest information just before its arcade launch. Key new elements are introduced, such as realistic player height differences that impact gameplay, like heading and dribbling, enhanced tactical options, and the inclusion of 4 distinct stadium types with varying capacities. The development is progressing well, with completion rates noted, building excitement for the final version. This page launches a new serialized feature, Sparkling the AM No. 3, dedicated to the latest from AM3 Lab. Starting with special interviews. One section focuses on the Virtual Toulon Drama CD Volume 2, featuring an interview with voice actress Chieko Higuchi, who voices the character Feian. She discusses her experience recording for the CD and returning to the role. The page also highlights the drama CD's release date. Another significant interview is with Mr. Koguchi of AM3 Lab, where he discusses the potential and future of in-game advertising, citing examples like ads seen in games such as Top Skater. He provides insights into the business implications and the integration of advertising within game worlds. Finally, the page announces the start of a reader corner dedicated to AM3 Lab, seeking fan submissions. This page kicks off with Arcade Hits Now, showcasing titles from Sega's AM1 and AM3 labs. The main feature dives deep into the House of the Dead, highlighting its challenging yet rewarding gameplay from AM1 Lab. The article discusses the strategic elements, such as how zombie durability can vary, and a detailed breakdown of the scoring system, emphasizing points for rescuing civilians and targeting weak points like the head. It then teases the latter stages, inviting players to discover secrets and face off against key figures like Dr. Kurian and memorable bosses such as the Hanged Man and the Hermit. The page is filled with intense screenshots depicting the horrific creatures and action-packed scenes players will encounter. Additionally, a new monthly column, Arcade Hits Top 10, presents a popularity ranking of arcade games, featuring heavy hitters like Virtua Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 2i, with the House of the Dead securing a respectable spot. Finally, there's a promotion offering prizes related to the game. This page continues, the Arcade Hits Now section, focusing on the release of the arcade skateboarding game, Top Skater. The main feature is a roundtable discussion with 3 key developers, Shuji Kohata, Kenichi Fujima, and Akira Kumano. They discuss the game's core concept of expressing coolness, the challenges of designing realistic yet fun skateboarding physics and courses, and the integration of snowboard-like elements and timing for scoring. Screenshots display the game's action, showing off tricks like the triple backflip and the results screen, highlighting scores and rankings. The discussion touches upon the Trilander process and development, and the focus on creating a rewarding player experience. Also included is a brief report on Sega's recent new work presentation, mentioning Dynamited Baseball 97, Burst Striker 2, and a continuation of the Cotton series for the STV arcade board, along with photos from the event. This page features the Saturn Soft Impression section, focusing on upcoming game releases scheduled between May 2nd and May 9th. While there are fewer titles reviewed this time, the magazine has expanded its roundtable discussion format, with reviewers sharing their detailed thoughts on each game. The main reviews cover several distinct titles. Mobile Suit Nadesico, The Prince of Darkness. Is it really love? Is a love simulation adventure based on the popular anime, praised for its character focus and narrative depth. Dingin Solved is a mystery adventure game with horror elements, noted for its engaging plot and deduction mechanics that encourage repeat play. Those Who Hunt Elves is another anime-based visual novel/adventure, highlighted for its comedic tone and character interactions. The sports genre is represented by Legend of K1 Grand Prix 96, a fighting game based on the K1 kickboxing series, featuring realistic data and presentation. Lastly, Funky Head Boxers Plus offers a unique take on boxing, combining a simple system with humorous presentation and featuring guest appearances by Japanese comedians. The average scores for these titles range from 5.6 to 7.2, indicating mixed but generally positive reception from the reviewers, with particular appreciation for narrative and character focus in the adventure games, and faithful representation in the sports/fighting titles. This page continues the Saturn Soft Impression section, offering further reviewer insights and game impressions. A unique feature is highlighted. Free Talk Studio, presented as a high-tension radio show with engaging text, charming characters, and branching conversations, receiving positive feedback for its replayability. Next up is Steep Slope Sliders 2, a horse racing simulation praised for its professional quality and appeal to fans, despite some wishing for more tracks. The page also features Groove on Fight, a 2D fighting game from the Power Instinct series, noted for its updated characters and new team battle system. The bulk of the page is a roundtable discussion where reviewers delve deeper into their thoughts on various titles. They discuss the simplicity of some adventure games, but praise the story focus in Mobile Suit Nadesico and the horror and deduction mechanics in Yigan Solved. They also touch upon the humor of Those Who Hunt Elves, the fighting mechanics of Legend of K1 Grand Prix 96, and briefly mention an RPG called Gensu Kyoku. Finally, Game Tengoku is presented as a port of classic Jaleco arcade shooters, featuring faithful gameplay, new stages, and bonus content, including an anime OVA, making it a solid offering for shooter fans. This page provides a wealth of hyper-old-tech, offering expert tips and hidden tricks for a variety of Sega Saturn games. The main feature focuses on A Thousand-Year Empire's rise and fall, detailing how to customize your general's look and select a deputy general to assist in campaigns. It even lists the different deputy generals and their special commands. For fighting fans, there's a section on Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, listing special moves and commands for characters like Warlock and Zero Guki. Other valuable tips include adjusting horse abilities in the simulation Yushun, Classic Road, how to make money in Uncharted Waters 2 through clever trading without ever leaving port, and selecting background music in Manx TT Superbike. Customization enthusiasts can learn how to change uniforms and referees in J-League Victory Goal 97, and even make it rain during games in Pro Yaku Greatest 997. There are also tips on unlocking specific characters in Sakura Wars, columns, and boosting popularity with idols in the convenience store. The page concludes with a call for readers to submit their own game tips and tricks. This page announces the upcoming release of Marvel Superheroes, following its reveal at the Tokyo Game Show. It's a fighting game developed by Capcom, supporting 2 players simultaneously. The game builds upon the mechanics of the X-Men fighting games, featuring Marvel comic characters. Key gameplay innovations highlighted include enhanced aerial combat, allowing for significant freedom of movement and defense mid-air. The game introduces a gem system, where 6 types of gems, time, space, reality, mind, power, soul, grant temporary special effects. Characters possess unique special moves, many inspired by their comic book appearances, and new moves have been added or input methods changed for returning characters. The powerful Infinity special moves, fueled by a super gauge, are also detailed, with spectacular visual effects. The page features screenshots showcasing gameplay, including powerful special moves like Juggernaut's Ground Pound and Iron Man's Unibeam. It also shows the dynamic aerial battles. At the bottom, individual portraits with brief descriptions are shown for Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Blackheart, Shumagorath, Psylocke, Iron Man, Hulk, Magneto, and Juggernaut, introducing the roster of fighters. Sega Saturn's upcoming games include Raystorm, a vertical scrolling shooter with 3D polygons and twin-player support. Welcome House is a comedic adventure game where players explore a wealthy uncle's house, solving mysteries using simple commands. Sound Novel Tsukuru 2 is a creative tool for building sound novels with branching storylines. Digital Anju Cyber Angel SS is an adventure game with anime visuals and voice acting, featuring choices impacting the story. PGA Tour 97 simulates golf with realistic features, and the Nightruth series' 3rd installment, Only Two Truths, is a paranormal adventure game with multiple personalities and branching narratives. This page dives into a selection of upcoming Sega Saturn titles, featuring a mix of genres, starting with Zeltner Schult, a simulation RPG where strategic battles take place on a grid, emphasizing troop positioning and terrain. The game promises a deep narrative with over 200 characters, including the main protagonist and key figures like Ferdinand, and Anastasia, whose interwoven stories drive the plot. Next, Game Paradise brings arcade shooting action to the Saturn. This port is known for its chaotic gameplay and colorful visuals, featuring classic arcade action enhanced for the home console. For the musically inclined, the Saturn Music School offers interactive music lessons. Connecting a MIDI keyboard allows players to practice piano and even learn parts for various instruments, turning the Saturn into a personal music tutor. Below that, Shutsugeki Miniskirt Police is a minigame collection based on the popular TV show. It includes various quick games, like a slot machine, and puzzle challenges, often featuring members of the show's cast. Dark Hunter Forest of Fairies is an adventure game with a unique twist, incorporating English language learning into its story-driven gameplay. It blends education and entertainment as you progress through the mystery. Sports fans can look forward to World Evolution Soccer, a soccer simulation that allows for detailed team and player editing. It supports multiplayer matches, offering competitive gameplay experiences. Finally, the Giri Giri new title trend section gives a brief update on releases, noting news like the re-release of titles such as Dean's Dinner. This page presents a comprehensive report on the latest development status of numerous upcoming Sega Saturn titles. It covers a wide spectrum of genres, giving players a glimpse into the future of the console's library. Featured games include highly anticipated titles like Panzer Dragoon Saga, promising a continuation of the series' unique feel, and the arcade racer Sega Touring Car Championship, aiming to bring realistic driving physics home. Sonic Jam is highlighted as the foundational first part of Project Sonic. Fighting game enthusiasts can look forward to Last Bronx and the crossover spectacle of X-Men vs. Street Fighter. The report also checks in on RPGs like Slayers Royal, featuring voice acting from the anime cast, and strategy titles such as Langrisser IV. Survival horror fans get an update on the tentative Resident Evil, set to deliver a chilling summer experience. Unique entries like the sound-only adventure Real Sound and the board game/RPG Concept are also covered, alongside updates on popular series like Lunar and Tokimeki Memorial. Each entry provides a brief status report and highlights key features, keeping players informed on the progress of these diverse projects. This page presents the Sega Saturn new production title lineup, essentially a release calendar for upcoming games. The page explains how to read the calendar, noting that titles in red text are entirely new additions, while those in blue text indicate changes to release dates or names since the last update. The calendar itself spans several months, starting with late April and extending into May, June, and July. It lists a wide variety of games across different genres, including arcade ports, RPGs, fighting games, simulations, and unique titles. For instance, April sees releases like The Crow and Virtua Fighter 2, while May includes titles like Civilization and Myst. June brings entries such as Pro Yaku Greatest 9, Japanese Professional Baseball, and Shining the Holy Ark. July features releases like Tokimeki, Memorial Drama Series, Volume 1, and Real Sound. The calendar provides the release date, or tentative date per month, the game title, the publisher, and the price. This gives Saturn owners a clear overview of what to expect in the coming months, helping them plan their purchases and stay informed about the console's expanding library. This page gives us a look at what's coming up, announcing the next issue, number 10, will be released on May 16th. There's a preview of upcoming releases, including major titles like Sonic Jam, Last Bronx, Super Robot Wars Fry, and Sentimental Graffiti. The page also includes a comprehensive game index, listing various Saturn titles, with their corresponding page numbers within the magazine. Prominently featured is a large section dedicated to the game adaptation of the popular manga, The Hunting Elf Story, which is released today. This command adventure game is highlighted for its anime quality and volume, based on the well-known series. It boasts bonus content for early buyers, including a CD featuring the voice actors, and a promotional poster. The section even shows pictures of the voice cast involved, such as Tomokazu Seki and Yuko Miyamura, and details a lottery to win an original phone card by submitting a survey. Screenshots showcase both the adventure gameplay and animated sequences from the game. Rounding out the page are the editor's postscript and contact information for inquiries. This page provides a preview of upcoming simulation games. Prominently featured is Dokusei 2, shown with key artwork depicting a group of students in school uniforms, suggesting a romance or school life simulation. The text indicates it will be a 2-disc package and is scheduled for release soon. On the right side, Graduation S, a racing simulation game, is highlighted with its logo. It is also listed as coming soon and licensed by Headroom. A collection of screenshots gives a glimpse of the game's visuals, showing various female characters in different everyday scenes, like eating breakfast, enjoying cherry blossoms, in a room with toys, relaxing in a bedroom, and writing. A small section links the two games, mentioning Graduation C's as another story of DocuSay 2, possibly indicating it's a bonus disc or related release. Both games are published by NEC Interchannel. This page is a special supplement featuring the romance simulation game Kakusei for the Sega Saturn. The left side displays key artwork of 3 characters, including Mizuho Yuki and Miko Kamiyama, set against a bright floral backdrop. The right side is formatted as a calendar spanning May through September, highlighting various dates. Text confirms this is for the Sega Saturn Creedrom version of Kakusei, developed and published by Elf, which was released on April 25, 1997, as a 3-disc set, priced at 7,800 yen.